I want to talk about the 7-year Great Tribulation. There's a lot of people think there will be 7 years of Great Tribulation. That is not true. There is no 7-year Great Tribulation. It's only 3.5 years the Great Tribulation will last. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 24, where Jesus Christ talked about in verse 15, but I'm going to start in verse 14. And it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." That is when the two witnesses come. They're going to be prophesying. See, when the two witnesses be prophesying, preaching, then after that, they will kill the two witnesses, like in verse 15. See, they're going to kill the two witnesses, and then the Antichrist will set up their abomination that make it desolate. You know, there's a lot of people don't get it when they read in verse 14. That's when the two witnesses are here. When they're going to be prophesying. The Antichrist is going to be tormented. And they're going to kill the two witnesses. And when they kill the two witnesses, and then they're going to set up the abomination that make it desolate. Then Jerusalem will go into captivity. Because before that, when the two witnesses are here, they won't be able to do the two witnesses nothing. The Antichrist won't be able to do the two witnesses nothing. Because any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth. Won't mean they're going to be destroyed. But it's like with Moses with the Pharaoh. Pharaoh couldn't do Moses nothing. Because God was with Moses and Aaron. See, that God will be with the two witnesses. So the Antichrist won't be able to do the two witnesses nothing until they finish their testimony. All right, verse 15, it says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand." That's why the Lord said, "Whosoever readeth, let him understand." See, a lot of people do not understand. They come up with all kind of theories and all kind of stuff that don't even make sense. See, and verse 16 says, "Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains." You see, that's when the Great Tribulation started. That's why the Lord told them to flee into the mountain. When they see their abomination that make it desolate, when they're going to set up that image in Jerusalem. You know, it's like Nebuchadnezzar set up an image and want everybody to bow down and worship. See, that's what a lot of people don't see, don't get. You see in Revelation, and when that false prophet comes in, I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. It's in verse 17, he said, "Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house." See, not to come down, to go straight and flee. You know, when you see the abomination. See, they're going to kill the two witnesses first, and then they're going to set up the abomination that make it desolate. Jerusalem going to go into captivity. In turn to Revelation 13, when the Antichrist comes in. Revelation 13, see in 13:11, that's when the false prophet, the Antichrist, come in. The false prophet is the Antichrist. Don't let nobody fool you with that. We're talking about the false prophet. It's not the Antichrist. The false prophet, the Antichrist, he the one that caused people to receive the mark of the beast. Pay attention. He rules over the kings of the earth. The Bible tells you that in Revelation 17, I think in verse 14 or 18, the end of the chapter, Revelation 17. All right. You see, he comes in verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. See, he had two horns like a lamb. He acting like Jesus Christ, but he spake as a dragon. See, that's how you know him. See, in verse 14, he said, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image unto the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the people made an image to that beast. And just like Nebuchadnezzar had the people to make an image. Nebuchadnezzar never did it himself, but he had the people to do it. The same thing over here. That's why he said that they should make an image, telling the people that they should make an image to the beast. One of the head that got wounded, like in one of the head, maybe like in the third beast that got wounded unto death. But he recovered. In verse 15 said he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. You see, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Same thing Nebuchadnezzar did. See, anybody want to bow down to that image, Nebuchadnezzar have them to be thrown into the fiery furnace. See, it's the same thing. He said you should be killed if you don't want to bow down and worship that image that he's going to set up. That's why he told the people that they should make an image unto that beast. And Revelation, see, the great tribulation, like in, let's see, chapter 12, Revelation chapter 12, and verse 14. You see, that's why in Jesus Christ talking about telling the people there in Judea to flee to the mountain. To flee from the serpent, from the devil. All right, verse 14 said, and to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. See? Into her place. See? See, like what Jesus Christ talked about, and like in Matthew chapter 24, when the great tribulation, when they set up the abomination that make it desolate, was spoken of by Daniel the prophet. He told the people in Judea to flee to the mountain. You had to flee away from the city, because Satan going to make all out war against the saints. He's going to get the remnant. That's what he is going after. See, you know, see, like now, like about homosexuality, abortion, and all that stuff. See how they're coming against the saints, the people that believe that it's wrong. They come against you. It's going to be worse then. They're going to want to kill you after a while. See, that's how it works. They push further and further and further. You know, it's like the women. When the women wanted their right, and the man give them a little right, let them start voting, they want more. Now they want to take over. They want to take over the White House. They never stop. They didn't want to take over these men. And these men couldn't see. I seen it 50 years ago. See, that's how the devil works. Like an old saying. You let the devil ride, the next thing you know he want to drive, then after he start driving, he kick you out of your own car. They're never satisfied. See. And why the Bible said don't give place to the devil. See. In verse 14, I'm going to read it again. It said, and to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle. See, a lot of people think it's the United States, because the United States is an eagle. But it's God, you know, carried Israel, his people, on the eagle's wing. Got to go back into the Old Testament. I think it's in Exodus chapter 19. All right, and so, and to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, and she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time. That's 3.5 years. Time is 1 year, times is 2 years. That make 3 years, and a half a time is a half a year from the face of the serpent. See, it's 3.5 years the great tribulation will last. There's a lot of people have all kind of wondering, some said 7 years, some said 3.5 years. But the Bible clearly tells you it's going to be 3.5 years the great tribulation will last. That's why Jesus Christ tell the people in Judea to flee into the mountain. You have to flee away from the serpent. For 3.5 years, it's like what it's saying here. God will have a place prepared for them. All right, go to, turn to, I think it's in Daniel chapter 12. Daniel 12 and 11. It said, from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. You see, that's 3.5 years, 1,290 days. And then verse 12 said, blessed he that waited and cometh to the 1,330 days. See, that's going to be the end then. See, the tribulation will last 3.5 years, 1,290 days. That's how long the tribulation will last. And the Lord said, blessed he that waited and cometh to the 1,330 days. That's 45 days more. That's after the tribulation. Because the tribulation, the Bible said, be days after the tribulation. See, turn to Mark. I think it's in Mark. Yeah, it's in Matthew 2, but it's in Mark. You can read about it. If Mark will give it to you like a little bit clear. See, Mark. Let me see. Mark chapter 13 and verse 24. It said, but in those days after that tribulation, you see, those days. See, you got an S on the word days. Pay attention. That's why a lot of people don't pay attention when they be reading God's word. So that's how they get confused, get lost. They listen to these preachers, and preachers be telling them different things. But you have to pay attention to God's word when you're reading it. That's why you have to read it slow and carefully. A lot of people just read fast and good and they run over God's word. They don't get to understand. That's why Jesus Christ said, he that read it, let him understand it. It tells you here in Mark chapter 13 and verse 24. But in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. See, that's when the Lord come back. He's coming back immediately after the tribulation. Those days after that tribulation. It'll be days after that tribulation. The sun will be darkened and stuff, the moon will not give her light. A lot of people think because you're reading God's word, everything is happening like in one split second, one day or something, But it's be days, It's like the tribulation. It lasts for days. 3.5 years, the great tribulation. But that's what I wanted to bring to y'all, get straight about. A lot of people believe it could be 7-year tribulation. But it ain't going to be no 7 years. When he's talking about in Daniel 9:27, he's talking about when the two witnesses come. See, when the two witnesses in the last 7 years, the two witnesses will come. And they're going to be killed after 3.5 years, after they finish their testimony. And then the Antichrist is going to take control for the last 3.5 years. See, you got full authority over Jerusalem in the last 3.5 years. That's why Jerusalem got going into captivity. See, when the two witnesses is here, the Jerusalem ain't going to be in the captivity yet. That's what I wanted to show y'all. You know, the tribulation only lasts 3.5 years. I can go, I just give y'all a few scriptures. I can go to many other scriptures. It take time. But it's enough for you to know, to get an understanding if you read God's word. But thank y'all. May God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of his word.